This is very stressful because, not stressful, because my VPN is on, so it shouldn't be janking.
Mm-hmm.
Are we live yet? I don't know. Okay, yeah. It says that we are live. I see us. Going in.
Oh yeah, I see. I see.
Turning down my volume. Okay. Cool. We are live. And there are 6 people with us. Hello, 6 people. Can I see who they are? Okay, so 3 of them are us. No, 2 of them are you guys. I'm not in it on my phone.
I think maybe it's a friend of you, Anushka Trivedi.
Oh yeah, he was doing the audio for
because he's a friend from Computational Mama. I assume he's your friend too.
Yes.
Yay!
She is on.
Hello, digital friends, internet friends. Hopefully everything feels smooth for y'all, because I'm in charge of streaming today, and last time I did this, it went so horribly wrong. So please let me know. There's not much I can do, but let us know nonetheless.
Yeah, let us know about the sound, like when you start listening to 3 of us.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's okay, because I see our levels and they're pretty equal. But yeah, what do the viewers have to say? B-Nick is the one who was doing the audio for us, right? When we did the audio thing. Hi. Nice to see you. Okay.
Good.
Shall we dive into our intro? We have a guest today, everybody, as you can see. 𝗏𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀, aka Anushka, prefers ophelia, right, in the creative coding space. Yeah. Tell us a bit about yourself. You're in Japan right now, right?
I'm in Japan, yes.
How did you end up there? And what part? Are you in Tokyo?
I'm in Tokyo. How did I end up? Okay, so a bit about myself. So, day job, I do very cliched web programming. I make these websites for clients, for a company who works for clients. And that's basically how I got here, because right after college, actually there's kind of like, so Japan has a very low young population right now, kind of the lowest, I think. So that's why they're coming to India to get a bunch of us to come here.
To recruit people. Okay, interesting.
So me and a lot of friends, like a lot of people from India, came here to start working for them.
Wow. So you got to move over there with a whole bunch of your people. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's nice to like move to a whole nother part of the world and like still have, some people you know around, right? Some familiarity.
Yeah.
Super
like
cool.
I'm still having freakouts, but I cannot imagine what would happen if I didn't have all these people.
Yeah.
So,
How long has it been since you got to Tokyo?
It's been around 4 months now.
Oh wow, so still new.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
I've already moved places, which is crazy because there are these like really tiny apartments here, and I'm not used to that. Like really tiny.
I've seen some of them online. They look like
the bed,
shoe
that you
boxes.
put the bed almost like in the wall, and then the desk too, and like everything is like tiny living.
Yeah.
It's like living in a closet from what I've seen online. But I mean, there's lots of people, I guess, so it depends. Like, did you manage to find a space that feels more comfortable?
I did, yes. I finally have a balcony, which is a lifesaver.
Wow.
Great.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's already like a great thing to have.
I mean, I got one here and I'm not letting it go. The balcony is so important, especially when you're in such a dense city, I find.
I know.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference just having a balcony, even if this room was as tiny as my previous room and I had a balcony, it would just be
too small still.
much better.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so by day you're like, sorry, go ahead.
I have a question. Before going to Tokyo, you said you were studying, so you're right fresh from university. Is this your first job?
This is my first job.
And what were you studying in India?
I did my bachelor's in information science, which is computer
Yeah.
science without hardware, I guess.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Did you like it?
I did. I liked it. So like a very funny story of how I didn't take computers in my school. So India basically, you get a choice from like ninth standard onwards whether you want to take computer science, and then mostly everybody just takes it because, as you know, we're all engineers.
Yeah.
A lot of us,
It's
disgusting lot of us. And so yeah, but I didn't take computers because I didn't like them back then. I took biotechnology,
okay.
but then during my 11th and 12th, I had this really old desktop which couldn't even install Windows 7. And so I was like,
Okay.
what do I do with this? What do I do with this? And then I figured, and I found a Linux.
Oh, then it started. I see.
That's what got me hooked.
Cool.
That's what got me hooked into computer science. I'm like, yeah.
Nice. And then how
This
did
is
you
my
come
world.
from that to creative coding?
So actually, the first time I wrote a sketch to make a house and everything was during my 11th and 12th sometime.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's probably Dan Schiffman. Definitely
of course.
great.
Coding
Definitely
train.
that.
Coding
I'm
train
Yeah.
not
all the way.
surprised.
And yes, I would make these sketches. Even in college, I would sometimes do it. Like even in my code pen, I have these embarrassing pens, which I
Oh, I
will
do
not
too.
remove. But yeah, so that's how I started. But the pandemic is when I finally made my Instagram. I was like, even if it's really bad, I don't care. But I just didn't want every day to go by and have no record of it.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that.
And was
Um,
it P5 then that you got started with the coding
Um,
train that you were
I
saying?
started
Or
processing,
processing?
processing, and then when I met all these people, Competition Mama and everybody else in the community in India, and they were like, "You should jump into P5." And
Mm.
after that, I jumped into P5.
and
Yeah,
then
by the way, shout out to Competition Mama, I must say, because she introduced
Yes,
us, you know. So
I was just
thanks
seeing her on
to
screen.
her, we got to meet her because she was like, oh, ophelia.game can do shaders. You should have her. I'm curiously minded. So,
yay. Yeah,
yeah,
but so that was
yeah,
going to be my
thanks to
next
her.
question. How did you go from P5 to shaders? Because I know P5 has shaders, but it's not so much like a thing that people do in P5. So how did you come to shaders? I mean,
I actually,
yeah.
I don't know exactly what it was, but a very, I mean, the Book of Shaders has been like the Bible.
Of course.
That I go through. And it's just so fun to read it and go through it and everything. Uh, it would be that. And actually, when Patricia was on Curiously Minded, I was
Oh,
so glad that I got it because that's when I found out about his library, l𝗶𝗀. And
oh,
that's
okay.
when I actually, yeah, that's when I was like, okay, there is a library. I don't have to write everything by
Yeah,
scratch.
yeah, exactly. Very helpful. Yeah.
I can start.
So are you using GLSO Viewer
I
from
am.
Patricia?
Yeah, all the
Great,
time.
great.
Since that stream, I've just been using GLS Reviewer and l𝗶𝗀 like all the time.
Yeah, me too. That's how
Yay.
I do my shaders ever since he got here. I got it last year around spring. So shout out again to Patricio Gonzalez Vivo for creating
Yeah.
such amazing like
Heart.
resources for all the shader
Or,
community, like Book of
no, wait.
Shaders,
This is the
GLSO
new way to
Viewer,
do the
which is
heart.
an editor for people watching and have no idea. It's an
This
editor,
also,
but you
yeah.
have to be comparable with command line.
Yeah.
And then l𝗶𝗀, which is a library that you can use together with GLSO Viewer with a few ready things so that you don't have
Ready
to code them
out the
yourselves.
box. All of the Pixel Spirit shader deck is on there. Some very useful functions, I think, also. And it's not just GLSL, from what I remember of the initial ambition it was anyways, that it covers Vulkan and I can't remember what the other ones are suddenly, HLSL and stuff like that.
HLS, yeah, that's
Do
right.
you
But I
use
don't
a
know.
PC or are you on a Mac? Because last time I tried to install it on my PC, it didn't work. I need to try again, though this was like a long time ago. Yeah.
I'm on a Windows machine, sadly, not a PC laptop.
Oh no, but Windows. That's
Um,
what I meant. That's what I meant.
But Windows.
You got it working with Windows. Amazing. I'm gonna try again then, because when he first released it, there was a bunch of build errors that I kept getting, and we couldn't figure it out together. So if I know you did, then I feel more confident trying again, because that means I
let
can
me try.
ask you if I get stuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
please.
computational mom is here. Hi.
By the way,
Maybe.
Patricia made a big update in May, just recently this year,
Ah,
on 𝗙𝗶𝗶𝗀. So because
amazing.
it was when I was fixing one of my laptops and I had to work on an old laptop of mine, very old,
Yeah.
and I tried to install 𝗙𝗶𝗶𝗀 there, and it was a little bit problematic, but in the end I made it, and I think in that big update that he did this year, like a lot of probably stuff from Windows maybe got fixed. Like
Hopefully.
they were
I'm afraid to
because I think
update that it'll
since last
break.
year we didn't make a release like that.
Okay. I'll ping him, but I think he's on vacation. But I'll ping him when he's back and ask. But in the meantime, yeah, I'll give it another try. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. The build errors stuff, I'm not that good at C++ that I can figure that out on my own. But anyways, okay. So what I've heard is that you're very much inspired by architecture. Is this true?
Yes, definitely.
Did you
Also
like,
because
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
the city that I'm in, I didn't really go out much because I was very introverted. I still am. So I didn't explore much, but the architecture from Lucknow, that's the city that I'm from,
Okay.
it's beautiful. It's just, I mean, I have a very special place
How do you
for it.
spell that?
Lucknow.
Oh yeah,
Lucknow.
put it on the screen, Eliza, for everybody.
City in India. Images. Let's see. Ooh. Ooh, it is very beautiful. Wow.
I mean, a
Can
lot of
people?
it is
Oh, now I see.
written in temples, but
Yeah,
kind of
people can see
adds
now. That's so pretty. There's so many
Yeah,
like,
looks really cool.
wow.
Very old architecture, right?
It
very
looks
old
that way.
and not maintained at all,
Ah,
which is a shame.
that looks crazy. Cool. So nice. It looks huge. Also, are all the cities so big in India? I don't.
Do you know the population of your city? Just to
I
give
don't
us an
know.
idea.
No, I
Uh,
don't.
I was just wondering. I know India is big, so I wonder
Oh,
how big
I mean,
is
this,
the city.
yeah,
super
definitely
cool.
much more than Europe. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that even from Mexico, because I'm from Mexico, and I know that India is even bigger than Mexico, so because Mexico is even bigger than European cities, and
Mexico is
that's why
huge.
I was
Mexico is
curious about
huge. No.
the population of your city. See, I mean the country in general, not like
Oh,
not talking about the capital, but still like my
also
city, for
huge.
example,
Yeah.
which is not the capital, has millions of people. So
Okay.
that's why I was curious about the city, which is not like
Yeah,
the capital too.
but still
So I
huge.
was.
Yeah, true,
Mm-hmm.
true.
Where are you from? Which city in Mexico?
I'm from a city called Monterrey. It's up north, just down Texas in the U.S. I think
Is this
most
how you
people,
spell it? Monterey. Let's see where
geographically
Alethea is from.
speaking, can spot Texas, and they just right down below.
If
And
it
we
will
have
load.
around 7 million people. So,
7 million. This is where
and
Alethea
we're
is from,
not like the
everybody.
main city.
Ooh, okay, very different vibe. I'm seeing lots of mountains. I'm just Google imaging it where you're from also.
Yeah, which is
Cool.
true for my city. We're a city of mountains. That's how it's like the slogan of my city.
Ooh, lots of mountains, lots
A
of
lot of beautiful
green.
mountains.
Some fun architectural like statue things I see a little bit everywhere and lots of color. Super nice.
It's a new city as opposed to your city, I suppose, Anushka. So most of the buildings in there are rather new. It's one of the newest Mexican cities, I think.
Cool. Okay.
Oh,
So,
so Lucknow is like at 3 million.
oh, three, wow,
3
okay.
million, your city? Okay, okay.
3
Like
million.
Berlin
Yours is
or
7. I have no idea how many. What's the population of Paris? Probably like
Montreal?
3. Oh, Montreal. Population.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
curious.
see.
I imagine that maybe it's smaller. It didn't appear to be too big when I was there for me. But
Where do I see Montreal? In 2022, there's 1,784,000
okay.
people. But Montreal's like a super tiny island. It's like very small.
Yeah, that's what I thought but still a million for a
Yeah,
tiny island.
but it's like very small. Where can I show you on the map? People don't realize that it's an island.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that either.
Montreal. Yeah, they think that is normal because Canada, like everyone lives at the border, so people often just think it's clumped into the continent. But it's like, yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it yet on the stream. I'm about to zoom in.
It's there.
But it's like
there.
here. It's like super teeny tiny. It's like you could fit about 1 million people on there. And then if you zoom out, you see like New York is over here, which is significantly bigger. I mean, that's the whole state, obviously, but yeah, Toronto's over here. So yeah, that's Montreal. I think it's got, yeah, less space and less people, but still cute. Not as cute as your place is, but still cute. Yeah. But yeah, no, so for this stream, Ilithya was asking me to find some photos of 70s architecture for inspiration, because they had cool balconies back then. So this is what I found on Google Images. It's about to pop up for you guys, I think, with the
Yeah, and by the way, I did tell this, Eliza, because you told me, Anushka, that you normally, that's your process, right? Like when you were doing these architectural shaders, it wasn't just like from your head, but you told me that you like to search for a photo as, you know, inspiration, and then from there you would like start drawing something.
Yes. Like I couldn't
right.
go out, so I was like, please send me your pictures from your cities, and I'm
Oh,
gonna try to
cool.
ruin them.
Super cool. Okay. Well, so these ones were, this is what I found this morning as I was like looking. And you're right, Alethea, there are lots of fun balcony vibes. Like this thing here, it's from France. It's like bubble balconies. I'm also into these
I think
waves.
so. I think the 70s has a very interesting architecture. When I was traveling in South America, I remember there was a lot of 70s buildings in Argentina and in Chile, and the architecture, I thought they had balconies, and I saw the patterns, and I thought, oh wow, this is really cool.
I'm pretty sure this is in Montreal, actually. This one, isn't it? I think so. There's this like very funny compound of apartments that got built in Montreal in the 70s, just off the water, and it's basically this. But yeah, I don't know if any of these inspire you, but I can look for other images, unless you have already something in mind, Anushka.
Yeah, tell us.
I don't have anything specific in mind, but we can just like, yeah, we can do something like this, I guess.
Cool.
But okay, so just to come clean, I haven't been writing a lot of shaders or basically anything this year because I moved.
Oh, right, of course. Big change.
So
of course.
Yeah, so I'm like very, very rusty. The muscles are limp. Everything's just
That's okay.
Then let's just pick something easy as well for us, because we wanted to keep it short today too.
Yeah, I
like
actually.
stream during the day.
What time is it? It's 1:30. I have to unfortunately leave at like 2:30 max. But we can definitely. Okay, so what I'm getting, my vibe as I'm looking at all of this is that we could definitely use like fract or mod, because there's going to be some kind of like grid situation. Because like I see lots of, I mean, I'm just looking at apartments right now. But yeah, I think it's because I put balconies. I can also just put architecture. Architecture, and see what pops out. No, still lots of repetition. So yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we could do like a fun 2D type of grid situation. What do you think?
Yeah, if you pick like one with balconies that are like
Oh, are we
rectangle kind of.
reproducing something literally or just inspiring? Okay, so why don't we do something like that? That's fun. There's two shapes there. There's like a weird offset square and a circle.
Yeah, I'd rather. I mean, it doesn't mean that we will do it exactly the same, but it's good to have a reference, you know? So.
Yeah, totally. How do we feel about that?
Yeah,
we can try that one. It's just circles and squares, and we want to keep it simple. So then we don't have to think too hard today. Also because it's too hot.
Also, yeah.
How's the weather in Tokyo, by the way?
it is hot. I just realized that I did not remove the AC. That's a mistake. It is hot.
I've got a fan aimed at my legs directly. It is so, makes a huge difference. Highly recommend. Okay, so I clicked back into the code editor and we can just like go wild. Yeah. I don't know. Do we care? I mean, in the photo, it's gray and blue, but I mean, I'm not particularly
Let's start black and white.
married to the colors.
Focus on the shapes. Yeah,
Cool.
me neither. I
Good
would say
idea.
let's just focus on the shapes first, on
Yeah.
the pattern, and
Okay.
then we'll see if we have time to color it.
That sounds good.
Because I think in general, when one is sketching, if you start worrying about colors before, you will never. For me, it's better to first think shapes, and then once like you have something that you like, then maybe okay, let's just now worry about color now. So I don't know. At least that's my process.
And Ophelia, from what I've seen, also you do a lot of stuff in black and white. Anyways.
Yeah, that's what I give up after shapes. I'm like, I cannot do color. I'm really just
One thing at a time. That's fair. That's
I
fair.
give up.
Okay. So how do we want to start? Do we want to divide up
Making a grid, maybe?
space or... Oh, you did do a little bit of color. I'm looking at your Instagram again. There's some green in there.
Yeah, sometimes like very.
You should show it on the screen, by the way, Eliza, so people can see.
Yeah. I was just
If
looking
you
at this
have
one
your
here.
Instagram.
The green sketch you did with the arches that like kind of curve into themselves. Super nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always do colors, and I'm like, I love bold colors, like, but I always end up with these.
Yeah. No, but it's nice. I mean, colors that stand out, right? Because or else, like, what's the point? You might as well just stick to black and white if you're gonna do all like super pale, washed out colors. It's super nice. Tiny shader. Oh, that's a fun hashtag. Oh, only 2 posts. Okay, so let's get to work. Why don't we? So now the background is white. Wonderful. Do you have a preference about the grid that you like to use, Ophelia? Do you prefer fract or mod?
I usually do fract.
Cool.
Oh, like me
Yeah.
too. I don't use mod at all. Yeah.
I haven't understood mod properly, I think. That's why I'm just like, stay away from it.
Oh, we can try today then. I mean, let's build it with fract and then we put the photo with mod after making it with fract.
So I
Do you
think we
want
need
to
to
make the grid?
change the, I mean, sort of make it like this, right? Like this.
You want to make it like the off of the main picture?
It was a triangle, no? Or
It was like a
was it?
pyramid without the top.
Ah, okay.
Mm.
We could concentrate first on the grid. Wouldn't it be easy and then crop it later?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Because I feel like if we made a grid first, then later you can crop it with a circle shape or
Totally.
whatever we want. So who's gonna get started? Should we get started? Do you feel comfortable to get started, Anushka? Yourself?
Okay. So UV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we already centered the UV, by the way.
I usually kind of start in modifying the UV.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, go ahead from that. But let's do it the other way. Let's first make the shapes, right? And then sort of change the UV.
Oh, you first normally do the cropping? That's what you meant? Like,
So not the cropping, but I kind of modify the UV to be. So it's not a crop. Wait, let me just try that.
yeah, try it. Show us your process. We're curious about your process, actually. So
I kind of just give it some perspective. I don't know how this will look. X. And how do you guys go about making shapes? Because we need something to be able to see what the UV is doing.
Well, we could like sometimes we define a float for shape. If we were to do a circle, like we would say float circle, and then like distance UV. Or you can input in the color, where we have the 1.0. You can put the UV in there, and then see how it acts. Ah, there you have it. Okay.
Okay, let's make like circles. So,
Oh, in this case, it's UV, not ST.
Yeah, it's going to be UV here.
UV, right?
Oops.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then normally we would, for example, we could say color here, close circle. Pardon, it has to be another trajectory because it's so close.
Yeah.
You call it circles, yeah. Oops.
Oh yeah, I made it circle.
Probably we would need I think we would need color to be black, no? So that the circle is white or something?
Yeah, change it, maybe because we don't see anything yet.
There we go. We should probably put it in a step function, but that doesn't seem like a circle.
No, it's because you were editing the UV.
Oh, my bad. Right? Yeah, it's true. I missed line 18. Okay, there we go. Circle, but it's in the top right corner.
Yeah, you don't need to, I think you were trying, because normally we center the UV. So for us, the UV is centered already.
Oh.
Excuse me, I just need to get a Kleenex.
Do it this way? No.
Okay. Now you moved it. Did you want it to have the circle in the center or where?
Oh, yes.
Then you don't need this. I'm going to comment this because we already, when we define the UV, we have already a formula to center. That's what I meant. So you don't need to do this anymore because we already have it ready. So you don't have to worry about it. So everything, like it's from -5 to, it goes from -0.5 to 0.5 and 0 is in the middle. In both, like X and Y at the moment. So. And we already, as well, with that formula, are getting the aspect ratio according to the height.
Okay.
So that it will not stretch weirdly if you make your screen bigger or smaller.
It keeps everything centered in the middle. It's a fun hack. But if it's like confusing to you, we can change it to the one from like the book of shaders or something.
So the first things, yeah, I mean, I just leave it to lithya and that it has a ratio function and I just use it all the time. Like, I don't.
Got it.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
This is perfect.
Okay, great. But yeah, there's our circle.
So what is res for? I see res. Res is.
So res is to kind of figure out like what's the grid size, grid resolution.
Okay.
Ah, okay, resolution.
And
cool.
Abstract.
Hey, very nice.
Okay, that's interesting. You do it in a completely different way as I would do a grid, actually. So I love to learn processes from people. Because you broke the grid before.
The center moved now? Like it's not in the center anymore, right?
So of each of the grid elements, yeah. So the grid elements themselves don't have the same resolution hack as like the above
you need to do what you have
resolution hack,
before.
yeah. To get the circle to be in the center, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
What you had before. So. Interesting.
Yeah, because the centering thing that we have there is really only for like the main screen space. It's not for your actual shader universe.
That's a cool effect.
Yeah, it looks like we're in a tunnel, a never-ending tunnel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A little
Like
bit
the
of a
buildings are
moire
like.
vibe too at the like end of the tunnel. I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm into
Was
it.
that what you were trying to do?
Yeah, so this is, I kind of modified this space first, like, but,
For the
and,
perspective. Mm.
mm, oh,
Oh, even more, like more
Yeah,
far.
you want them bigger, I think. Yeah, exactly.
Mm. Cool.
and, okay. Maybe I want to do some additions to it so that it's,
This is so interesting to see how you're
maybe
putting
do
the
this with
space
X
differently.
instead of Y. Okay, I'm just gonna flip this.
Oh. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, now I feel like I'm
I
like
like it.
under some very probing office lights or something, you know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
because
You
you're
know what I
trying
mean.
to get the perspective from the building too, now that I
So
see. Now, can
clever.
you
It's
show the
so
photo?
clever what you're doing.
Can you
Yeah,
show the
sorry. Let me
photo
flip
again,
back
please?
to the photo. Here it is. I wish I could get let me see if I click on it. Open the
There it
image.
is.
Just
That's
the
what you were
image.
even trying.
There we go. Big bang
Nice.
boom. Super nice.
You got it. You got it, Ophelia
Okay, so
again.
wait, let's see how you did that. You divide x position by y position, and then you
Mm-hmm.
multiply by 2 minus by 2.
So this is, the multiplication is for basically, to,
Making it
if you want
bigger.
to go back, or like how far are you from the
Mm-hmm.
horizon,
Okay.
kind of,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And the addition and plus is basically where you want it to be, because if I remove this, then everything will be, it'll be like a tunnel in the center.
Right. Oh, I see.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So you're pushing it. Yeah.
So you're looking down?
In the Y
On
coordinates,
the
right?
y,
So
right, right,
you're
right. Of course, we're on the y. Right, right.
so
Nice.
vertically. So
Nicely done.
mm,
Cool.
I like this. Smart.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay.
And yeah, and then now we can start working on the ships.
Yeah. Let me try something to see if we can use mod instead of frac. I'm gonna comment
Oh yeah.
your
Oh
rig
yeah,
just to
let's see.
see
I mean,
if
it'll be a
like we can
little
apply
different
that.
because they don't divide up space the same way. There's no remainder value with fract, right? There's like
There it
there's
is.
a point 5, point 2, point whatever when it divides up space, and with mod there isn't. Mod it's just like there's going to be a leftover number, basically, but it kind of
Mm.
looks the same. I say that, and then it looks
But
exactly the same.
because I was gonna say that I was practicing this when I was giving a workshop, and you can get the exact same result between frac and mod. In fact, despite the formulas maybe not be like accurate. Like I think mod tends to be even more accurate with the decimals
There aren't
in
any
general.
decimals
What
in mod,
Eliza was
from what
trying.
I understand. Fract gives us decimals, and mod won't. It'll give you like an integer
So
leftover, right?
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So maybe frac gives you the decimals and mod, but still you can get the result if you always have the second parameter as 1.0. So for example, you
Oh,
can see mod as a fract. So you always input the UV, and the second parameter has to always be this reminder that one. No? So you put one, and the way that I do frac is that sometimes I multiply inside here the amount that I want, as opposed
Oh,
as you
instead
did
of the res.
above the UV, right?
Funny.
So when you do that, if you were using mod, you don't change the second parameter. Now the second parameter has to always stay one. So you just do the multiplication just as if you would think that the first parameter is what you have in frac. And then I had 10 before. It should like multiply it just as the other one. No? So this is basically like this against 10. So that's
But
why I
isn't
discovered that you can use them
okay.
equally
But
when you have
then,
the same amount of.
since we're already multiplying the UVs by res, isn't that doing the same thing that you're doing inside the fract?
Yeah, that's what I'm showing, that this is the way that I
Yeah.
do it. Like I don't use res, but for now, that's why we don't need this, because we are doing
You
it
have that.
your
Okay.
way, Anushka.
Yeah.
but I just put it there to if
Show.
there's other people, because I've
Totally.
seen it. Other people do it like I do, that inside the frac they multiply the amount, like the frequency that would be.
Totally.
So instead, I think it's interesting that you do the frequency like in the UV outside before you actually put it inside. But normally I would put it inside, and if you do that and you use mod, then you will need to add the frequency as well, otherwise it's not gonna work. But yeah, basically are
Oh,
synonyms.
so
It's like using this. Yeah.
if I multiply inside mod, then instead of 1, I would mod by 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would do it here, the frequency, but this one stays one always.
But normally,
Oh,
like you could put 10 there and that would divide the space up, but then you would be having that different leftover value.
oh,
Yeah, but if you change the second value, it's not gonna replicate the same that is as in fract. No? So,
Right,
'cause we can
right,
try,
right. So if
for
you
example,
use
if
mod
you
the
have
like
UV,
appropriate way, then it's going to do what mod does. And so if you do it at, if you leave it at 1, then that kind of transforms it into like the fract function. So, but I think that there are some circumstances where you really do want to know, like if there's a number left over, and then it can be super useful in like, I don't know, a ternary operation or something, to like know, like, is there a number left over? And if yes, do this. If not, then don't. If that
yeah,
makes sense.
that's why I was changing the second parameter. So you see that if you change it, it doesn't act as the frac that you had intendedly
Yeah.
wanted to act. I mean, you can still do other stuff, but if you want it to act as in fract, the same, just always keep the second parameter as 1.0, and then
And then it acts as fract, yeah.
yeah, it's basically like length and distance too, which is the same. Like to make a circle, you know, you use length, but you could have
Like
used
it's so
distance, and
dark
it
here.
did the same. You just need to add the other vector 2 on the second parameter. So.
right. Oh yeah, it seems like mod is like a general version of fract. Oh, basically, fract is a specific version of mod, where like we're always doing it by 1, right?
You don't have, oh, I mean, fract is
So
really like you divide everything up and you have decimal point values in the pieces, right? And mod will never go into decimals. So you're going to be like, you can divide something into 2, but that means that there's maybe like 3 values left over or something, you know? Like
the thing is,
modulo, it gives
mod
you the
is modular.
remainder.
That's why I wanted
Right,
to
right,
explain
right.
that mod is modular, basically the way that the same way as modulo acts in JavaScript. You know, and in JavaScript you use the percentage when you want to get the modulo of another number.
Right.
So this is basically that, like if you use modulo in other languages. So that's why Eliza was saying,
That's why
like, if
I
you
would
try it,
always, yeah, I would always do mod 2 because that's the most often used one. Like in JavaScript and everywhere else, you always do mod 2. You never
Yeah.
do mod 1 because like mod 1 kind of doesn't make sense, right?
I mean, if you want it to work like fract, then yes.
but
Right.
it's just
If
because
not,
we
then
wanted.
no. It depends on the
But the thing
intention.
is that I think it's because in this case we're in you know, in shaders, so you want it to be 1 because you don't want any reminders. You want 0, you know? So kind of like so like if you try 1, like you were saying in JavaScript, for example, you will always have 0 if you have 1, right? So with modulo, so which is what you said, you don't want this normally, like that's not the usage in JavaScript because it's not, you don't want that reminder to be 0. But in here, we kind of want that 0 in order to act as in fract. So I don't know if that makes sense.
So it's kind of ranging. I mean, it's giving us the same thing. It's giving us a range from 0 to 1 with both fract and mod, right?
Used in this way, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I would never think of doing mod by 1 because now I know. Fract
Yeah.
is mod by 1.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I discovered myself after testing and trying, because I was sure that, I think I heard somewhere that it's really like you can use it equivalently as in frac, no? Like using modulo. So, and then I discovered, oh, that's when I was trying to tweak that second parameter in this mod function from GLSL to, I don't know, 2, 3, like another number, and then it was never the same result as in frac, and I was like, I really don't understand how you can use mod as in frac because it was never making sense. I was trying to use basically the frequency.
Right.
That was my view of percepting. I was always like, oh, the second parameter should be the frequency, so it should be 10, it should be 20. And then I discovered, oh no, the second parameter is not your frequency. The frequency goes inside the first parameter as the whole formula, like the UV against your frequency, and the second one has to make sure that you're always in this zero space in shader world, now that goes from 0 to 1, kind of. And you want to stay in 0.
I mean, anything that you divide by 1 is going to be itself. So that makes sense, right? The value in the 1 position is what you would otherwise be dividing the space by if you were using modulo, not as a duplicata of fract. But then if you plug, the whole like equation into just that first part and you leave the second parameter as just 1, then you're going to get exactly what you would get, in fract.
In fract, exactly.
But if you need the remainder for whatever reason, then you would be doing the dividing of the space in the second parameter where you would have the 1. But you're going to get different results for sure. It won't look the same as fract in that context. In this context, yes. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's see. How would we be placing this? The tricky part of this exercise, I think, is going to be to place the square, circle, square, circle, square, circle, square, circle.
I want to see how you were going to tackle Anushka, because so far,
So far, I'm into your approach. I like the I like the different steps you take to set up the grid, first of all. I do really enjoy that. Very clear.
Yeah.
So I started using lithya. Since I started using lithya, like a lot of these things are already there. So I can like take it for granted. And if I had to like randomly put these things, I would just use random, which is already there.
Oh, we can bring, sometimes when we do random things in here, we just bring like the function, you know? So do you want to use random? Should we bring it in?
Yeah.
Because we can
How do you guys look for...
There's a gift.
There's
a gift from Patricio González Vivo, again, so as usual. I'm going to put it in the chat because I feel like a lot of research comes from him. And this gift goes around among shader developers, because if you don't have a library like lithya, you always want to, you don't have it by heart, all of this
I mean, who's going to memorize a noise function by heart, or a random function? But that gist, anyways, is like a compilation of a bunch of random noise, I think, random functions that were compiled. Hello, people in the chat. I see Bruce Lane and H.W. Buck.
Hello.
Hi.
New people.
We're building.
By the way, do you want a random that it's a float? I mean, as a parameter, or do you want a vector too? Because there are two different kinds of random functions. The one where you can input as a parameter a floating number, or do you want a vector number to be inside?
I think we would need the vector, right? Because we want to, I guess.
So I put it there now. If you look into line 13, just scroll up. There's the function, so you can use it now.
But it's giving a float. You said you wanted a vec too?
It's inside the parameter, I meant.
Okay.
You see, if you look inside the parameter, that's what I meant, because there's another random function that you have to input a float instead. But I think both of them are, in general, floats functions.
Oh yeah, it will always return a float, I think, random.
Yeah, it will always be a float, but I meant the parameter inside. Because it's tricky that there are random functions that then you want to use, for example, randomize the UV, and then it doesn't work because the parameter that you have to input has to be a float. So I was always getting confused because the first random function in this gift has a float. So when you grab it, you're like, oh, it has to be the second one.
my window, and it made me freak out because of you, Eliza. I was like, I need to kill it right now.
Don't.
Dun dun dun. Hate bugs. Too much of a city girl. Yeah. Oh, and shout out as always to Sean, aka 𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, for his lovely debugging tool. Without him, we would never know why we were doing things wrong.
Yeah, we have the console, but it's harder to read. So
Definitely, that's the thing.
much
So
more
so
simple
cool that he
to
did that
read.
for us.
Oh, this isn't there already in CodePen?
No, no, no.
No.
This
It's
beautiful thing here, yeah, no.
from Sean.
Wow.
So the thing appearing with the background and everything, and it's JavaScript written by Sean.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I fixed the height down with CSS, by the way, Eliza.
I was
Last time when
wondering.
we were doing ray marching,
Yeah.
we couldn't scroll and we couldn't see the error.
Yeah.
And that disturbed me, and I thought, oh, didn't think that sometimes we have long errors. So then I fixed the CSS, and now if it's long, you can scroll
Cool.
to see.
Amazing.
Oh, okay. So how would we go about making a rect, since I'm very dependent on Lydia for all these things?
Rect, I don't know by
Okay.
heart the square.
I can show you because I just gave a workshop on that. Give me a second. I'm gonna comment your shape for a moment so we don't have an error.
It's true, you
And
did. It was just last
then
week, right?
here- Yeah, exactly. And I was doing geometry with mathematics.
Cool.
So we're gonna,
Here we are.
for a moment, I'm just gonna comment the grid now so that we can view the rect.
Yeah.
And then normally what we want is to move this, or like, yeah, pull the space of both coordinates. So that would be, maybe we start with this one. And then we would, hold on, all right. So we have to add both coordinates. So because, wait a second, let me comment first this and show you. So I want to, before I jump into that one. So with this one, we're pushing the coordinate of of x, like this. And if you push it in like the other coordinate, then it's gonna be squished like this, right? And then if you want to make this square, you want to combine these two, kind of pushing the x and the y, so the two apps, and that's what I was trying to do. So then you have the x, and then here you would do UV. Can you move your cursor, Eliza? Okay, great. And then I don't remember if it was min or max, because these functions from DLSL are great because you can subtract or like put things together, or what is it? When there's a minus, subtract means summing in English. No,
It means subtracting?
You know, when subtracting is minus.
Yeah.
And summing is adding. Yeah,
Adding. Oh, sorry, addition. My bad. I wasn't following you there for a second.
Addition.
Yeah. The
Addition.
plus is to
And
add,
subtract.
and the minus is to
Okay.
minus. Subtract, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So min and max are great functions to kind of do this mathematics when you have two parameters. For example, we wanted to combine the absolute of x and y. So if I'm gonna just try and change it to max for a moment, so you see, and we see, because then I can remember myself.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the depth on these
so
squares is super pretty.
either
like a
of
little
those, like one of
perspective.
them is subtracting them, and the other one is like doing the opposite. I cannot remember which one is
Adding.
doing which, but yeah. I mean, now I can see why can something. So you can choose whatever you
Whichever,
feel
yeah,
is
version
making
you
the effect.
like. And then you want to
the
center
center?
them. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know what that was, but it was really pretty. Wait. Can I just remove this for like a half second? I just want to see that shape because it was super pretty. Yeah. So trippy, no? I'm into that. Okay. I just wanted to look at it for a second. That looks like the from below, you're looking at, oops, well, what did you do? You did minus, right? 0.5. What did I do wrong? No, okay, so this is where we want to be. As you were, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Ophelia. I just
No,
wanted
no,
to like
no.
look at the,
I love that shape too. It's like, yeah, now
it's so
finally we
pretty. I
have.
love like optical illusions like that. Making 2D look 3D is so satisfying.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. You know what's interesting about this is that you get this like circular kind of weaving pattern going up, no? And then you get the depth in the
Because you
middle.
need
Do
the
we need a
perspective.
step function? I feel like we need a step function.
I wanted to wait what you wanted to
This is
do, Ophelia, because
SDF, right? For a rectangle, we've made an
yeah.
S.
What?
But is this the shape that you wanted, or do you prefer by using mean? Because you realize that it was a different perspective, right? So
It's
I don't
like
know which one
inside,
do you
outside.
prefer.
Do you want
Because
pyramids or?
one is kind of like, I guess, taking it towards more zero, or one, as you see, like more black, more white. So which one do you prefer?
I think I prefer the previous one. Wait, what? That was Max?
Max, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's just like,
So this is more white, that was more black. What if we multiply this by a certain amount? Would that like reduce the size of the rectangle?
Darker. I think if you multiply it by a larger, like by a 1 or a 2, you'll get brighter colors. Brighter whites. Ooh.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. This already is looking great for me. And we haven't even put the circle there.
Yeah, true.
How would we randomize this? So I guess we could do something like R1 and
Okay.
so we say that shape also have to be below this. If we R1 into rectangle plus
Oh, okay.
minus R1 into
Times rect. Wait, hold. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Adding
What
some
is
noise
this?
to the.
to be floor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Floor UV
And maybe you need a
I
frequency.
think.
by res.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Ah, yeah, that's the frequency.
Cool,
The
cool, cool.
resolution.
Oh, but I don't think
See the circles now? Are we supposed to see like circles and squares by now?
yeah. So the thing is to get like a. Oh, wait, it's not working. To get like a random grid where every cell in the grid has a random number.
You want to. Okay.
And yeah, maybe if it's like less than 0.5, then you make it a circle. If it's greater than 0.5, you make it a rectangle or something like that.
So then, like, do you want to use step for it, or?
Okay,
So
so
you.
if we just do random of UV, it's going to give a very texturey thing, right?
Yeah.
But then
There. Just the noise.
for UV,
Right. Okay, and now you want to check if R1 is greater than or less than 5, right? Okay, so then you're going to do, I'm just going to put this here, but you can rename it if you want. But if you do you know how the step function works?
yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so like there versus 0.5. I don't know if you want to rename it to something clear, but there is your if. If it's greater than 0.5, it'll be 1. If it's less than, it'll be 0. And then I guess if it's 1, you set it to be a square. And if it's 0, I don't know, set it to be a circle or something. I think that's what you were alluding to, right, Ilithya, when you
Yes.
suggested this step? Okay.
I think the UV.
Didn't you want shape in there? Just something.
I think the UV. There's something you need to do here because that checker box thing is not happening yet. So that's why it's all becoming zero. I feel.
Because we haven't done an if else yet. We've only set up the check. So the check is going to be, for every pixel, it's going to be, am I 1 or am I 0? We don't know what it is because we haven't checked it yet. So
Okay.
like if, oops, check, I can't spell today apparently, greater than point, or is, I should just check it against, I guess, 1, something, else, something. I don't know what these parts would be though.
I usually write it like what do I want to call this?
A ternary operation would also work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Check.
I think there's an error because it's
Exactly.
including your check.
Yeah. If it's 1, wait, you're setting it to be 1?
Yeah. If it's 1 is 0 and if 5 is 1.
If check is 1, make it 0. If not, leave it to be 1.
Or let's just make it circle. Otherwise, make it rectangle.
Yeah. That makes more sense, I think, to me. I think. Because that follows, I think, what your intention is.
Yeah, but I don't see.
Yeah, it's something.
Well, you have to put,
So it's always greater than 0.5. It's always 1, I feel.
well, if you're flooring it, though, here, the trick is, you might not need to floor
Shouldn't it be
it.
R1 here? Like
No,
maybe
the
you don't
check,
need
the
this step
check,
anymore.
it's the check, because it's going to be 1 or 0. But you don't need to floor it.
Yeah, this would be.
I don't
So
think
then
you
this-
need to floor it, because your UV is going to be like, greater than or less than 0.5 or whatever. I could be wrong.
But this kind of gives you a random number for every pixel, right? We don't want it for every pixel. We want the same random number for every grid, every cell in the grid, right?
True.
So then, yeah, that's how if you floor it, then 0 to 1 it's always going to be 0. 1 to 2 it's always going to be 1.
True.
So
Okay.
the random variable, it kind of gets the same value.
Yeah.
But that checker grid, it's not something.
I ran into a similar problem using floor, though, earlier this week. And if you use it and as a check, it'll always be 0 for some reason. Don't ask me to explain why. I read it in Stack Overflow somewhere, and I can't properly explain what I read, but I remember being like, okay, don't use it. I wonder if there's floor, but then there's also.
There's an error now? Oh no, you're redefining the color.
Shaders. There's the opposite of floor. What's the opposite of floor?
Seal.
Oh yeah, if you want to round it up, you can use teal. Maybe that's more helpful. I don't know. Glossary.
Oh, I get it. Because we're doing UV is already fract, so it's not. Okay. Yeah.
Where is teal?
But
Teal,
now
floor.
there's nothing. There's blackness.
Ooh, that's pretty.
I don't see anything. Do you see something?
I do. I have this like really beautiful cascade of colors across my screen.
Oh, right. Yeah. For me, it was black.
And now I have a grid of pink and blue. Oh, back to the cascade. Because don't forget, right? You put in a position, you get back a color. So, yeah.
Okay, so this is what we need to put up in the random function, I think.
And in here we can put color 1. Can I delete that and put color 1 here?
Yes, I think so.
So that was your intention, right?
I don't know what this is, but we're making some really interesting like pixel art today. It's super funny, these
Oh,
patterns.
one now is not
The resolution
anything.
is weird.
Ugly.
Okay, so the resolution. I think the resolution is off. Wait, can we go back to?
Yeah.
It's gonna be what you have. So for one, there is something now. Yay!
So it's. Wait. Are you guys? Are you guys like? Are we on the same page? Kind of. I don't know.
I mean, I think I understand what you're trying to do. You want to have it go. Well, you want to randomly position basically circles and squares, right? I get the floor. I get the check. Are we still using the check?
The
so
check, I'm not sure. To be honest, this is confusing. Why do we need a check?
because it's checking if the
Because
random
you're
is
doing the
greater than or
ternary.
less than 0.5.
But aren't we doing that with the ternary? Because for me, it would be like here R1, because why would we need this step if we want to check directly?
Yeah.
If, you know, so.
One
I
less
think
step.
if you use check, it would just become different. It would be check if you'll have to check if it's equal to 0 or 1.
Right, but then it's just an added step, so I don't know if we need it, right? We could just
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think we don't need this step.
And then if you put it back to like, is R1 greater than 0.5? Ooh.
No, I don't see anything. You see something?
No, but we don't have the full thing yet. 0.5. Greater than or equal to, I guess? There.
But the resolution seems to be off in the sense that it's dividing it more than we want it to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's.
Do you think it's because of the red that you're multiplying?
Yes, we have to multiply here because we're doing on line 26, we're already making it like range from 0 to 1. So then it's
then why are you dividing it?
It always gives 0.
So I think that something we're forgetting is that we aren't between 0 and 1 on this screen space. We're between -1 and 1.
Yeah, negative 0.5 and 0.5 by the way. Negative 0.5 and 0.5.
Yeah.
Not negative 1.
So -0.5 and 0.5, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's useful, Anushka, that we don't go to 0 to 1. That we go, from -0.5.
Yeah, because each of these grid cells is again divided into 10 parts, right? So it's dividing it twice.
Should we comment the colorful grid to see the other one? Back to 1 line.
Okay.
I have one input. Meanwhile, you're thinking. I wonder if we go back to clone and then maybe multiplying outside of clone the frequency.
I know this isn't the intended, but I love the patterns that are popping up on the screen. I'm into it.
So I'm gonna go back because I thought that maybe we need to, after it's floored. And what if we use seal instead, like aiming it up? It doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Wait. No. Maybe
Let me try something. Do we still have? Okay. And this means that in here it should be the trick, as we were saying. Yeah.
Oh, what should I do? Okay, no, wait. So okay, so UV into res, if you just say grid is UV into res, then
Since that the pixels are tiny, then without flowing.
oh, shouldn't this be equal to?
Oh, maybe that was the problem too. We could have done, yeah, go back to call one, yeah. Instead of the plus equal.
And now if I say divided by res, right? Normalize it.
Yeah.
Now if this
Okay, so maybe it was now it's coming along, yeah.
what's the
So maybe it was the subtraction and the column. Okay.
divided by oh no. There's something. Okay, let me just. Can I make a new thing called ST?
Of course. I was going to say, the only way that I know how to have interchangeable shapes and stuff is by duplicating the UVs and having separate UVs. But we did this on the, which episode was it? The one where we did blend modes and stuff. And then you have like 2 layers of like screen space, grid space. But
She's trying now.
wait, I lost your cursor. There it is. Hey,
I think
cool.
she got a second UV that is not distorted like the fract, right? So
Exactly.
let me see what happens with that one. But so far, I don't see anything.
I see a red line.
Is it black for you? I see
Mainly
a
black, but there's
screen.
there's the red line on the right.
No, I don't see that. Weird.
You don't see the red line? It's on the stream. You see it on the stream. I mean, I guess that's obvious because this is my
yeah,
screen.
sure.
But yeah, you guys don't see that?
No,
Oh, no, I see it.
Oh. Maybe it's like a Windows
now I see
PC
something.
thing. Ah, but it's because it's moved over. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this.
This makes more
Now-
sense what you were trying to do?
Yeah, so it's kind of getting the. Okay, so now if I do. Let me just do random of this grid right now that we have it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say color is this random thing.
But you will have to wrap it around a vector 3, remember? Because color is a vector 3, kind of like I did here. Yeah, just wrap it around the vector. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we
Is this
go.
what you were looking for?
Yes.
Okay, so now we can maybe go back to the call one.
So,
And
so now
then you
that
have to use ST instead of UV. Is that the trick that you in here in like line 36 in R1? Maybe use as ST instead of UV.
Yeah, so no, I was just trying to understand whether this way of making the grid is right. And when you do random of this grid, then you get like the same value for one cell in the grid, right? Because if I remove the floor, it's going to give us that random kind of texture thing. and just to the floor, it makes it like sort of
Yeah.
random grid.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes it bigger. Yeah. So it doesn't go to infinite.
Okay. So just trying to check if that is right. If that is right, then you can replace this with UV.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can I comment the R2 for a second so we can try the column again? Yeah.
Here we are. Ah, okay.
it's doing us the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
I wonder if in line 36 you have to use ST, you know, the other UV that you didn't manipulate it. Do you think that could be too, that you need to
Here.
use that second UV? Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
More
So then,
unexpected, but interesting result. Very
yeah, but then
interesting.
that UV is not
It's kind
manipulated.
of,
So.
it's kind
Oh,
of
but you're
doing
getting the circles. We are seeing
Yeah.
circles and cubes. That's
And
very
squares.
interesting.
Yeah,
I
because the
kind of,
UV is
yeah.
not manipulated.
Okay,
But
so
there's
you,
like a
but they're
kind
also
of
like
a
at the
extra.
bottom, they're like a little stretch.
Okay.
At the top, they're more compact. But that's normal. That's perspective. Okay, okay. Your idea was not wrong.
Maybe we just
Yeah.
want to do the same thing to ST also. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, what? Where are you? I missed that. What line are you on?
So on 25, we
Ah,
modified this to get the perspective. I just did the same thing
Mm-hmm.
on one.
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay,
so
so
it was
it
just
doesn't
that
have
that
to
was
be
missing.
multiplied by res, I guess.
Got
What?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just
If
want
you
the
would have,
division.
if you wanted to use the UV without being distorted and, you know, without, now when I see like the end result, I can assume that you could have used the UV if instead of having the resolution here, like you transform the UV, instead you would have used a frequency number inside frag.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
that's true.
that's probably why when I do my grids, I tend to do that I have a floating number for that I call frequency, and then I always multiply that here so that I don't mess with the UV in case you want to use it later.
I
Again,
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
this
a good point. I
alternative is
think
also
because
good, you know, so
This
then
is
you
a
have
fun
to
way to
think.
place things, so I like it.
I want to do
Yeah.
it your way, but yeah, let's do it this way.
It's just also in that sense you only need one UV, and then you can go back here to have your original UV. And I think then you don't need the second UV unless I'm mistaken.
This down here.
Because, hold on. Something is still not right.
Yeah, something's.
Oh, wait a moment. So now you put it inside frag. So it shouldn't be. We are not disturbing the UV anywhere else. And when you created the ST, let me see. You did the same as in here. UV.
But we're not using the ST anymore, so I think it's normal that it looks different.
Oh, I see why. Do you see it in line 29? So we did put the frequency, but we're still tweaking the UV. That's the problem. So here we should have something called, like, I don't know, grid.
Yes.
That's how normally we would do it in other streams. So you have a grid, then you have frag, so you don't like tweak the UV at all. And then you will have to use that grid. Oh, I see it here. Well, you know what? It's going to be a lot of refactoring if we take that now, because now we have to input the grid. So I think I'm just going to go back, because otherwise we will never finish, but it's possible.
Oh yeah, then okay, I think I get the grid would come here, I think.
Okay, then I will leave it.
Okay.
Because I can see I will leave it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay, so I was thinking like, oh, we need to do more refactoring. So no, but perfect, yeah. And now, yeah, and we don't need the second UV. Please, let's code. my obsession with less comments.
Yeah.
Probably that's why I prefer not to UVs, because as long as I don't have much code, I'm always happy. I don't know if it make it more performant or not, honestly.
Now my mind is at peace.
Yeah, mine too. Crazy. But
Cool.
Yeah. We have like random squares and dots.
Not
That we
bad.
like.
Not bad for an hour. I think we did
No,
good.
it's okay. I think, yeah, it's pretty great. If we would step it then after, then you get more solid shapes.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, it's kind of like the perspective is you're looking at Ewing, right? Because you
Totally.
see kind of like each window.
Yeah.
Going
And you're
in,
looking
right?
from below. I would have never thought of this way to position things on a, like, yeah. Super interesting.
How do you guys, how would you go about something like this if you had to do this?
I duplicate the UVs, so I have multiple layers stacked of UV space stacked on top of each other. And I don't, I guess I wouldn't have used rand. I would have used, I don't know what I would have used to do it randomly, I don't know. But then in the photo is every other, so I probably would have used a ternary or something, or an if else. But this is really cool. I'm going to try and play around with this a bit, because I like this idea of like the random sprinkling of shapes in different places. So neat.
Yeah, me too. To be honest, this way that you show us like the R1 flow that you created with the random function, and then to apply it in a ternary, it wouldn't have crossed my mind if I would have need to do the circle square. Like, I don't know how I would have done it, but like on first instance, if I would think, it wouldn't occur to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have, maybe in the end I would have landed to this. I don't know.
I wonder. It's the rand, I guess it's the rand that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of, but it is very, I find that very clever.
Yeah, but I like it because it's really fast to achieve, you know? You just created this like line R1 and then code 1, the ternary.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So as long as you apply that, you have a grade of 2 things.
Super cool.
Randomly, yeah.
Well done for someone who hasn't touched shaders all of 2022. I have to say.
Exactly. I can't believe you said that.
I mean, I've struggled with line 34 for months.
Yeah.
And I still I was just like, what's wrong? I've struggled with this so long. But yeah.
It's cool. No, there's like a lot of fun little details in this code that people can use in different ways, I think. Yeah. Super fun. Also, what you explained above on line 22 with the 2 minus 2 times 2 minus 2. And
that, for example, that I learned today. It wouldn't occur to me to do the perspective.
Totally.
In there.
And the way you set up your grid also, I thought was super nice with the res and everything. Yeah. Yeah, there's like line 22, line 25, and line 34 for me are like chest kiss. Very nice.
Alicia was made line 25. Thank you for that.
Oh, true. True.
I always do the multiplication. Then I'm like, what happened to my UV? I cannot understand.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit better to create a vector 2 for the grid, just in order not to confuse yourself, because when you have to debug, like I'm always thinking, like if I have to debug stuff, then it gets a little bit harder when you start tweaking the UV directly.
Totally.
So even if I do noise, I never apply it directly to my UV, but I create like a new vector 2 that I call it, I don't know, noise or whatever. So in that sense, you never like really touch the UV and it's untouchable. So.
You always want to leave a pure UV at the top, I would say. I'll do like I'll do vec2 pause equals UV, and then I'll do my thing to the UV and I'll keep going. So I know I always have the original space that I can refer back to. Yeah.
Right.
But it's, we found our way.
Like now, as an end, since we already have this, like if you go back to mod, what I was telling you.
What will it look like? You have to multiply by res,
Then it should be basically the very much thing that you were doing with frag. So
hey!
It's just, you know, just using mod instead of frag, but it's very much the same in that sense.
Cool.
I'm going to go back to yours, but I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As a
mod
reminder.
1 is equal to frat, so I learned today.
Yeah.
I've always been doing mod 2 because
But it makes sense because
Because of
like you would
JavaScript,
normally
yeah.
want, I don't know if it's a JavaScript thing though. I think it's just like the way Modulo works. Like I think it's very rare, or not rare, but I guess it would be surprising to reach for a mod if you didn't need to, and divide it by itself. Because then you're always going to get,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
But I guess
yeah.
sometimes you just need to, or you want to know the equivalence, which is the interesting part for me.
Yeah.
Having like, yeah. Because there's lots of intrinsic functions in GLSL I find that are like either the literal opposite of each other or else very, very similar. And then it's like, but why? When do you choose the other one and why? So this is like an interesting like way to understand that better, I find.
Yeah. No, but I love it. It's just a few lines of code and look what we do.
It's
We
true.
do
This one is
feel-
particularly like succinct. I'm very into
Yeah.
what we did today. I learned a lot
Can
of
you show the photo
fun
again as we
tricks. Yeah.
finish on
So,
the episode so
oops.
people can see that we got pretty
This
close to
we did
the
got
inspiration.
quite close. So this is the original photo, and the details
Yeah.
that Ophelia focused on were perspective and like putting the different shapes
Geometry.
everywhere. Yeah. And honestly, I feel like we did a pretty good job there. The trick with the perspective, super cool. I'm excited to play with that.
Yeah. Yeah, we should play.
Yeah.
Me too. This trick that you showed me.
Yeah.
I think probably I would have seen the perspective as a cropping that I would have applied at the end of my grade.
Totally.
But it's nice to do it this way. I like it.
Yeah.
I will take this in my pocket of like new knowledge of GLSL.
Totally.
I'll never forget.
These two, I always get confused with perspective, even though I know like there's some division and some multiplication. I'm always just like getting it wrong.
Yeah. Like what's the right order?
So it's always
Totally.
like, oh, there has to be some multiplication, some division, something. But
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us. What time is it where you are right now?
it's like 9:40.
Okay, that's not so bad, but it's getting, I don't know what time. It's
That's
Tuesday,
supposed to
right?
be.
You worked today. That's a long day.
I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
And you did great, by the way.
Yeah, you did so wonderfully.
You were saying that you haven't done shapes now.
And like, yeah, seriously, all the more impressive considering, yeah, you said you hadn't quite had time, which is understandable. So wait, 4 months ago, you basically moved in February to Tokyo?
I'm 4 months ago. Wait, no. I moved April's beginning.
Oh wow, I can't do math. In my mind, we're June. In my mind, we're June. In my head, we have not made it to August yet.
Divide by 2 and it's something else.
Wow, okay. Cool.
10 times
In
nine.
spring.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we show her website? Do you want to pull it up for the people so that they can
Yeah,
see?
ophelia.game.github.io. It's very cute. It has a section showing your projects. And you did some fun things with type, it's true. I forgot about that. On your Instagram, there's lots of type stuff. So there's the type section, there's also poems
Yeah, you work a lot with II, right? So
and writings,
like the-
which are like, I guess, tutorials or explorations. Oh, cool, yeah. Kind of like
These are
going
like-
over your, oh wow, are these? Oh no, they're screen captures. I thought you had done like carousel
those.
photo things in your thing. But no, this is great. So if you want to
show it.
see like what she's inspired by, what she's thinking about, head on over to ophelia.game.github.io.
Yeah, follow her on
Super
Instagram
cute.
so you can see her shader experiments. on
Experiments,
architecture
exploration,
that she was
all the
doing
things.
last year. And then the tech stuff that you're getting into it now, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited to see what else you make.
yeah, me too. We should stay in touch. Maybe we can do
Definitely.
it again another time.
Oh yeah, you're welcome back
And we
anytime.
could color.
Yeah, we can add color. We'll hold on to this and we can continue where we left off.
Exactly, and we start painting. So
Yeah.
that's really fun. I have to run, but when I'm trying
Likewise.
to reach an end of this stream, but it was lovely to have you, Anushka.
Thank you for having me. It's
Thank
been so
you.
nice.
I'm glad you had
Anything else that you
fun.
want to tell to the people that is watching? Like, do you have anything, something coming up that you would like to share with everybody?
Mm,
It's okay if you say no. Don't worry. Not everyone has a million things. Yeah. Cool. Well, we're gonna keep an eye on your Instagram and your website, anyways, because that's where you post all your explorations. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with next. I feel like you're gonna be very inspired by your new living location. Like Japan's just so full of everything, literally. So yeah, I can't wait to see all of it trickle into your work. Yeah.
Yeah, the creative coincidence in Tokyo, I think, is pretty sweet.
Oh man, yeah, everyone over there is so talented. I mean, I based this all on Twitter. I have not been to Japan, but anytime.
Yeah, for me it's the
I
same.
think, Eliza, you had an installation on one of those.
Yeah.
In Shibuya, but I think Ilithya, you did?
Eliza too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I took a photo of it. This was where it was. That
was.
has that Modi.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Neo Shibuya project. I love that group. They're so great. I think the premise was that there was lots of ads everywhere, and they really wanted to just, infuse all these screen spaces with art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is a great idea.
And they had it before COVID, so they were precursors to the whole let's put pretty things on screens vibe that we are currently in. But yeah, I'm glad that you got to go. I haven't seen it in real life, but maybe one day.
Yeah.
It's my dream to go to Tokyo.
Same.
Please, everybody just come. I've been telling.
Yeah.
It's like really pretty, but for me it gets a bit. I mean, because I'm from India, everywhere there's so many people, and so much always going on. Like if I'm on a balcony as well. Here it's a bit quiet if you're not in, the market area and where the screens are, where the shops are.
It's too quiet for you. Wow. Okay. I feel like I would be so overwhelmed in Tokyo.
You say that it's quiet because I heard from friends who think that it's very.
All I've ever heard about Japan is like how dense it is, but it's true that it is.
Exactly.
I guess people are really reserved and very very silent. Even in the subways, I've heard that people don't say anything.
Yeah,
so
you don't talk. You do not talk.
Yeah, lots of respect of people's personal quiet space. Yeah. I mean, 2 places that I want to go in my life include Japan and India, so I'd love to be able to contrast them for myself. One day.
Yes.
Okay, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye to our viewers. Don't hang up yet, Anushka, but we're going to say bye to the viewers. We'll see you guys soon, very soon, surprisingly soon. Stay tuned. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.